Start recording. Okay, good. So now it is recording. We can put this behind. And so what I have done in the Jitsi view here, you don't see it now, but you will see it in the video. Basically, I have split it in half. So I see you there and I am here. And I do this for the video, of course, so that
Okay.
people who view it can see us both. Very good, very good. So thank you for being here and for contacting me. Let's start with a few things about you. So what is your name, first of all?
Okay. My name is Carlos,
Hmm.
and I am a free and libre software enthusiast, and
Uh-huh.
of course, an Emacs enthusiast.
Ah, good, good. So what do you do? So are you a student? Are you out of school? Do you work? Where do you live also?
At the moment, I am studying, but I am also working an internship
Hmm. Hmm.
in web development. But well, I am studying industrial engineering.
Okay, okay, okay. And where are you studying? So where is the place?
I am in Seville in
Uh-huh.
the Escuela de Ingenieros. I don't know what is the translation.
Well, I think it's literally the
And
School of Engineering, no?
maybe it could be, yes.
Yeah.
And I live with my parents at the moment.
Hmm.
I am just looking forward to end my degree and just being independent
Uh-huh.
and live just with my girlfriend and start a life.
Wow, very good, very good, very good. So, which year are you in of the degree?
Uh, it's not easy because I have some subjects from the second years,
Hmm.
also from the third, and I have still two from the last year. So it's a mix.
Uh-huh. Okay, so basically you have like a few courses left to get the degree.
Yes, I am hoping to end the degree next year or the year after that, as in the worst case. But let's
Ah,
hope
yeah,
for the.
I see. Me, when I was doing my degree, the bachelor's degree, so it was supposed to be 4 years, but because I was working and studying, it ended up being 6 years. So that's normal, I think. I mean, if you have to move things around, it's like that.
Yeah, yeah. The normal I think is about 6 years in my degree
Ooh.
because it's not easy.
Hmm.
But I have been in the degree quite more, like 10 years. I've
Uh,
been also working and doing other stuff.
uh-huh.
But well, I need to finish now, or I don't know. I just want to start working in the next few years.
I see, I see. But so 6 years, I guess it counts as more than a bachelor's degree, or is it still
No, I
bachelor?
mean then
Is it
it's
PhD or
supposed to
what?
be in 4 years,
Ah,
but
okay.
no, normally nobody do it in 4 years, and the average is about 6 years.
Okay, okay.
I mean,
So,
it's a little bit complicated because it was 6 years, but they changed the study plan and they make it 4 years for the degree plus 2 years for the master, I think it's called.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then you can only be an engineer if you have the 4 years and the 2 years of the master. So the master is just part of the degree, but is split because the plan, because political reasons we can say.
Yeah, of course. Like politicians always need to move things around and produce more papers and then reports and then policies and then institutions and more reports and then reforms. So yeah, it keeps them going.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Sevilla. So for people who may not know, where is that in Spain?
Well, it's in the south of Spain, which is in the south of Europe. We
Hmm.
are just a few kilometers away from the north of Africa.
Hmm.
And well, the best thing of Sevilla, I think, is the weather.
Hmm.
Although in summer is pretty, it's very hot. It can be very tough the summer.
Hmm.
In
Hmm.
contrast with the mountains, where the hard time is in winter.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
We suffer in summer because the temperatures are just skyrocket. It's not that hard to live because we don't have much humidity,
Hmm.
so it's a wet time. But in the sun you can get nearly 50 degrees, so it's very hot.
Oh, wow. And so, okay, at least it's dry because whenever you are in a place where it's humid and hot, that's suffocating. It's really tough.
Yeah,
Um,
in the east part of Spain, there are cities like Valencia that
mhm.
have like 30 degrees, but also a lot of humidity, and that is much worse than having 40 degrees here in Sevilla because the
Yes.
humidity is well, it's just very difficult to live with that.
Yeah, yeah, it makes breathing more difficult, and it also kind of like sticks on you, like it feels
Yeah,
more uncomfortable.
yeah.
So Valencia would be on the Mediterranean, whereas
Yeah.
Sevilla, you are not close to the sea, right?
Is I think we are not uh, we don't have coast by just a few kilometers,
Hmm.
but no, we don't. Well, we have to travel from Seville 1 hour by car to get to the beach.
Which
So
is
it's
the
not that
closest beach? Is Cadiz or Malaga, maybe?
Huelva. I think it's
Well,
Huelva because usually the people go to the Huelva's beach.
mm-hmm.
Um, Cadiz is like more 2 hours
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But that two are the closest one, Huelva and Cadiz. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. And now I may be off with my geography, but I think that's the Atlantic, right? Or is it the Mediterranean?
In
I mean,
no
it's
in
yeah, yeah. Tell.
is I don't have here the map,
Oh, no,
but
no worries, no.
no
If you
in
don't know, it doesn't matter. It's not like I know
no
any
it's
better.
in Huelva is the it has to be the Atlantic, right? But
It,
it's not that cold like when, for example, when you are in Galicia in the north of Spain,
hmm.
the sea is very cold.
Correct,
But
correct.
here in the Mediterranean, of course, is the sea is hot. In fact, this year is I think near 30 degrees the water, so it's
Whoa.
very hot. And in
Yeah.
Huelva, I think is the Atlantic also, but it's not that cold.
Yeah, yeah, because of course it's the part of the Atlantic that joins the Mediterranean. So
Yeah.
it's where Gibraltar is, where Europe meets North Africa. So of course there you have different kind of dynamics than what you would have on the northern side of Spain. I see, I see. Okay, good. Um, let's switch topics because you told me about the free software enthusiasm and Emacs and stuff. So tell me a little bit about it. Of course, you are studying engineering. I imagine you use Emacs for your studies or for your work.
Yes, and a lot of free software. For example, we have an engineering program to do the calculus, which is
Hmm.
called MATLAB. But then there is also Octave, which is the free software alternative. And I use always that when I can. The
Hmm.
people always look strange to me because it doesn't have anything to do. The interface is different, everything is different. And of course, I use it in Emacs with a octave-mode. So it's very different to the commercial interface of MATLAB. But the advantage, of course, you can modify the source code. It's always better to have libre software.
Hmm.
But also in, for example, in Octave, the program I think it's about 200 megabytes, and whereas MATLAB is I think 8 or 10 gigabytes, maybe more.
Wow.
And also
Can you
the
even
startup
run that
time.
on a laptop? I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing. If I use all ThinkPads because that's what I like. Uh, I could try to run MATLAB there, but it's not guaranteed to start the program. But
hmm,
with Octave, it's flawless. It's perfect. You just start it, and a few seconds, then you are in the program, and you can do whatever you want.
Okay,
The
but
difference is incredible.
why is there so much of a difference? Like, I imagine, of course, the core functionality is the same between the apps.
Yes,
What does the commercial app do more? Of course, there has to be bloat as well. I get that, but
oh, yes, yes. There is a lot of flow, but also a lot of extensions for different areas of engineering. That,
mm-hmm.
well, maybe they are useful and you could use them, but in the degree we normally only use a very small subset of the characteristics. But still with MATLAB you have to download a lot of gigabytes, and the program is very heavy to use, and it's not as easy as smooth as Octave.
Interesting. By the way, Octave, is it GNU Octave? Is it part of the
Yes,
GNU umbrella? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's GNU Octave.
Mm-hmm. And what does because of course me, I know nothing about engineering, so of course, um,
Ah,
what
well, yes.
when we say, okay, we study engineering and we use Octave, like what does that look like? So if I walk to your desk and you are on your laptop, what I will be seeing, just numbers and calculations, like what does that look like?
Well, normally, yes, is you work with matrices,
Mm-hmm.
and you just operate with them. You solve a system of equations, and the more visual part will be the plots that you can paint. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you can paint the velocity of an object versus the time,
Mm-hmm.
or you can maybe do a simulation, which is a little bit more advanced. But for
Mm-hmm.
example, a pendulum that
Uh-huh.
which is used on the segways. I don't know if you know what are those.
So I know what the pendulum is. A Segway in general, I know, but maybe in the context of engineering, no.
Well, it's just the vehicle that when
Mm-hmm.
you move,
Mm-hmm.
it goes one way or another.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 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 I see.
And well, that use a lot of control, which is part of engineering. And there are you can do simulation of that with MATLAB as well. So in the
Oh.
backend, we can say they are just numbers, but there is also a visual part.
Okay. 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 I see. Okay. So this is where it would start to be more of a useful app. So it's not like just number, because numbers you could in theory do them on paper, right? Or in a generic Emacs buffer. But then
Yeah,
once you
yeah.
start to the plotting and the visualization, you need something more.
Well, you have a GNU plot, I think, for the visualization,
Mm-hmm.
but also, if, for example, in the control area of engineering, you work with what is called transfer functions, which
Mm-hmm.
are some mathematical objects which require some transformations that are not easy to do in a normal calculator.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So basically, it's specialized to do those transformations.
Yes. So in short, we can say that Octave or MATLAB is like a calculator on steroids.
Aha, aha. Okay, okay, good. How does those visualizations happen in Emacs? How do you do it? So what does octave mode do?
Well, in Octave mode, you just have a terminal, but also, well, I have above the terminal a buffer with the file that I am editing in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I edit, I don't know, calculus.m, which are the extension of Octave and MATLAB. That is like an script, like a normal program, but with mathematical operation. And then you execute the script on the Octave mode on the command line interface, and that is basically running the program with your script, and then it shows you the results.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So like
So
shows you the results means like so you run the script and maybe a pop-up will appear showing
yes,
you a
or just
plot or something. Yeah.
the answer with a number. For example, I don't know if you are doing some building some structure and you want to know if the tensions are low enough or high enough. You run the calculation, and then you get the results with the force and the tensions and everything.
Okay, okay, okay. That's promising. Do you use any of this together with, let's say, org mode and the ability to evaluate code blocks? And do you do any
Yeah,
of that?
I use it because when I am in class, I take notes,
Hmm.
and all the notes I take and in org mode. And of course, in org mode, you can execute some code blocks.
Hmm.
So for example, I take some notes and I say, with this function, you can do this operation. And then I just test it in org mode with Control C, I think it is.
Yes.
And then it shows you the results in the same org buffer. So it's very easy to do. You don't even have to open the program. You just execute the code and you get the results on the org buffer.
Oh, that
So
will
it's
be
very
amazing.
integrated.
So I imagine the package octave mode comes with an extension for org babel. So usually those are called OB dash whatever major mode.
Yes, I
Like,
think I have enabled on my configuration the
mhm.
octave mode, so Babel knows what are the octave blocks.
Okay, okay. And then when you do a source block, it's begin SRC octave. And then,
Yes, something like that.
okay, okay. Wow. That's nice. So what else does Emacs provide? Like for an engineer, like you have octave, you do math, you do plots. Is there something else that you need?
Well, in we have in my degree, I am specialized in electronics. So there are also for sorts of programs that are a command line interface. All of them works great in Emacs, of course. So for example, if you want to do some circuit simulations, there is this program called Spice, which is very old, but it works very well and is the backend of the more modern programs that use a graphical user interface.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
on the backend, you always have Spice to do the simulations. And Spice is very well integrated with Emacs, again, because you can just alter a file that is like an schematic, but in plain text. You describe a circuit, and then with Spice on the command line, you simulate it. So you
Okay.
can do everything in Emacs again.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds amazing. So when we say you describe, like, what does that look like? Of course, don't give me like the super technical, but like if you were describing this to your uncle who doesn't know anything or
Yeah, yeah.
something.
Well, I don't know if you have seen a basic electrical circuit when you the
Yeah,
schematics.
I can imagine how it would look like, where basically there are the connectors and the nodes, I guess.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
So you just
and there
define the
is
node.
resistance and
Mhm.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, that's it. You
yeah, yeah,
define the nodes, you define the resistors or the other
resistors.
components, and you just define from which point to which point the components are connected.
Hmm.
And then you define the source of power and the types of simulation then you want to do and anything. But it's not, it could seem maybe that is complicated to do on a plain text file, but it's not complicated at all. It's very well structured and very, you can do it simply. Of course, you can do it in a graphical interface, but at the end, that graphical interface translates the file to a plain text that's simulated with Spice. So
So ultimately, that's where you should be. Okay, I see. What about, because this is something I always wondered. I have seen those plain text files and they have these very nice schematics. So there's like a box with some text inside, and now there are some lines, and they connect to another box with some other text inside, and there are more lines and stuff. So, do people do that character by character, or is there something that outputs that nicely? Maybe it
I
relates
think,
to what you are doing as well.
yes, well, I think it depends for some simple circuits, like, if you are working with Arduino, that is more from hobbies and enthusiasts, you can do it by hand. And well, of course, in Emacs, we have the artist mode. I think you know it.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And you can draw with that. It's very easy. But also there are programs. I have not used them very much, but there are a lot of programs that you can use to draw a schematic. And of course, you don't have to do it character by character. But well, that is also an option. I have done that sometimes because you can put some comments and in the comments draw in ASCII, and then the rest of the code is more clear because you have like the schematics in ASCII.
Yeah. I see. I see. Me, whenever I try to do some of that, eventually I would want to make some change, and then I would be like, "Oh my God, now I need to align everything," and it was
Mm,
just too much work. And I was like, "You know what? Just put a wall of text and it's good."
yeah, that's problematic if you want to change something.
Mhm.
But well, normally what I did when I was working, we just test the circuit, and when we have the final prototype, then we draw it. So we don't forget what we did before.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense, of course. Whereas my method is just do something, then it's sloppy, then change it, and now it's a mess. What else do you use Emacs for? So you said you write notes of the class. So what does a note, a class note, generally look like? So do you have equations? Do you have, of course, you have the code blocks. Do you have prose? Like, what does that look
Well,
like?
I normally use the org headings
Hmm.
with a new heading for each day, so I know in each day what I did. And well, you have a lot of package to work with LaTeX in to write mathematical equations. And I've seen a lot of people doing it really fast, taking notes with LaTeX. But in my math classes, I just use the notebook because is for me is the easiest way. But I have seen people that can take mathematical notes with Emacs. And well, if I have to use LaTeX, I always use Emacs, of course. But in my note-taking process, I don't use LaTeX to take the notes of the equations.
So if you write an equation, you will write it in a more simple way and then add the LaTeX syntax on top, or you will just ignore LaTeX altogether.
Well, for example, for the octave subject that I have, it's okay in the text plain text. I don't have to
Hmm.
do anything else. But
Okay,
if I
good.
am writing, for example, an article, if I want to publish something in the work, I just write it everything in LaTeX.
Hmm. Which of course goes to the point like if you are writing notes, probably you are not publishing them. And LaTeX is basically a typesetting language. So why would you need LaTeX if you're not publishing, I guess?
Yeah, well, because it's great to have beautiful notes.
Ah, okay, sure.
But and also it's not that complicated. It's just that I have not looked at it because I don't need it.
Hmm.
But it's not that complicated to take notes with LaTeX in Emacs because you have a lot of templates, packages that help you, and you can just basically write at the same speed the all the symbols that you will do by hand. So
Yeah, of course. With templating, it's really fast. Yeah, that's right.
mhm.
Yeah, indeed. So about publishing, do you ever publish? So is that something you have to do, like academic articles or formal
I well
presentations?
I worked in a robotics laboratory some years ago, and in there it was all about publishing. I mean, the people were more focused on how to publish what they do than on what they do. So I learned a lot about publishing, and well, we write a lot, and we were always focusing on how we will publish this experiment, or how can we make an article out of this.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I understand it, but mm, at the end of the day, you shouldn't be. doing stuff just for publishing. You should focus on helping the people and improving the society. I think
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at least what I have seen is the academic world mm, is focusing too much on publishing and less on helping the improving society.
Yeah, yeah. From what I understand, talking to scientists, academics, and such, basically they don't have a choice because they are
No.
cash strapped, they are
Yeah.
underfunded, usually understaffed as well. And what they have to
Yeah.
do is they have to keep publishing in order to stay relevant and hopefully get some grants or
Yeah,
some.
yeah. It's not the fault of the people. It's just the system is
Mhm.
built like this. I mean, if this works and it's the best thing that we have, it's okay. But I don't know. I just don't. I don't think is the best.
Yeah, yeah, it's a hard problem. Yeah, I don't like intuitively I agree. I don't think it's the best, but if you were to tell me, okay, so what is the solution? I don't think I would have a very good answer. I can think of alternatives, but I don't know they will necessarily be better. Because part of the problem is, let's say I have the money, so I am a rich guy and I am a benefactor of science. Who do I finance? Like, do I finance the robotics lab? Do I finance the autoimmune disease research center? Like, what do I finance? What do I know as an outsider in terms of what will have the most impact in science and technology? So, what I'm trying to say is that there is a mismatch between the scientific world and the engineering and technology world, and basically those who have the means or those who have the money, those who make decisions, because the scientists know their stuff, the others don't. So
Yeah,
it gets
well,
a bit
maybe
tricky.
I don't I have not looked at the problem with that perspective,
Uh-huh.
and I can imagine myself in the place of a man which has a lot of money or a woman. But I think is for example, if you grow up in an environment where there are a lot of robotics and you have money, of course you will invest in robotics because it's natural. And if you have a familiar or if your father, your mother, your brother have some disease and you have a lot of money, of course you will invest in that disease
Mm-hmm.
to help the development. And I think that will be the natural thing to do.
Yeah.
But also one thing that is problematic is the the closeness, let's say like that, of the articles and of the knowledge is all very close.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it doesn't have any sense. For example, sometimes you have to pay to publish an article,
Yes.
and I mean, and then
Which
maybe
you
you
don't
are
own.
local. Yes, that's right. Maybe in the future you can't even look at your own article. That doesn't make any sense. I mean,
No, that is
when you
a
publish something,
disgrace.
you have the idea is to expand the knowledge, to share the knowledge, and everyone should be able to look at others' articles freely. I think, and I think there are some universities in United States that do that. I think MIT does do that a lot. They have free courses and such. But in general, it's all very close. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's the way. I think it will be better for everyone if everything was more freely available.
Yeah, yeah, I agree for sure. But it's especially egregious when it's public money. So the government eventually has all those grants,
Mhm.
which ends up financing all these for-profit private entities.
Yeah, that is especially aggravating. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
the Free Software Foundation has like I don't know the word.
Maybe you mean the
Um,
FSF Europe, or you mean the
no, I think it's the FSF in USA. that
Okay.
has this campaign that is free public money, public code, or something like that.
I think that's FSF Europe.
Uh,
Yeah, I think.
well,
But the idea
that's
is
the
good.
thing
Yeah.
that it should be done. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
public money, public code, or public articles is, I think, is common sense and is what should be the norm.
Yeah, yeah. No, I 100% agree. I think that should be basically defined at the level of a primary law. Like everything the state does is public, like that sort of thing. Everything it finances. Of course, you can exempt from that maybe some military grade technologies or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
there are some exceptions
But
always, but
let's not
mm,
have the exception govern us. So that's the exception. That's fine. What other software do you use, if any? For your work slash
so
studying.
uh, I've mentioned,
So we have
I
Emacs, we
think,
have Octave, GNU
yeah,
Plot
I
you mentioned.
think, well, for spite for simulation, I don't recall at the moment anything because, well, the thing with Octave is that it's very versatile and you can do a lot of things with that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but there are some specific software from some areas of engineering, but they are all closed source.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, you have a program to do the calculus for a building, or you have a program to find the properties of the water or some fluids, which is
Uh-huh.
basic for fluid mechanics or thermodynamics, but that's they are not open source.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And well, I try to use only open source and or libre software
Mm-hmm.
because I find that is the best thing, not only in terms of freedom, but for my mental health. Let's say like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah, of course, of
the,
course.
the libre programs tend to be more structured, organized, and also with a very well documented with a good documentation, and that is the best.
Yeah, and I think this is not by accident because, like, the more you use proprietary programs, like, the more you realize that they kind of nudge you in a certain direction, which is, of course, in the interest of the provider. It's basically for profit. So eventually, they will have all these patterns and all these things to distract you, in essence. Whereas free software isn't going to sell you anything, so there is no incentive there to uh, move things around and to make things more difficult and to catch your attention here and move your attention there. So
Yeah,
in that sense, yes.
you can
Plus, of
focus on the
course,
important.
sorry.
You can focus on the important thing, on what the program should do, and not on getting money or anything else.
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. And it won't impede you, so it won't try to create incompatibilities and force you to upgrade. Oh, and by the way, you have to pay now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Is anybody among your peers thinking like you, or are you basically the exception?
I am considered an extremist. I don't know why, because I just want to use free software. I don't think that is so extreme, but well, uh, yeah, there are some people that are more inclined towards the free world, but in general, the norm is that everything is closed, and the people just they don't even ask themselves, and would there be any alternatives or anything else? No, they just use what they are told, and that's it. I
Hmm.
mean, most people don't even know that there is a free world outside the normal closed world.
Okay, that's interesting. So they never bother to explore, so they are not even aware of it, or they are
Yeah,
aware of it but they
I think they
ignore it
are.
regardless.
I think they are not aware of it. Maybe because in engineering we are not. we have not that much inclination towards the IT field, because engineering is a field on its own,
Yes, yes.
and people just want to do it their work, and that's it. And maybe that's why they don't look outside for how can they do um, something in other manners.
Okay, okay, I see. Makes sense. Yeah, whereas somebody in IT would have heard of free software, presumably.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see, I see. Okay, okay. So that makes sense because then you can understand them. Then you're like, okay, you don't know any better. Fine. Maybe if you learn, you will change your ways. What is more bizarre is when they know, but they still use the other option that they used
Yeah,
since the beginning.
the people that I have told from the IT field of the in the university, they are all aware of free software, and they use it whenever they can,
Hmm.
because they think it's the best thing to do, the best option,
Hmm.
and I think is the normal thing to do, because it's not only about freedom, but mm, it's just the most practical thing to do. They are the best programs in the end.
It's that. It's actually that. It's not just like we have like a religious commitment to software, but otherwise it's not good software. It's also good software. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Plus, of course, we care about the values, not to undermine those.
Yeah,
You know.
of course,
Yeah,
that's the primary thing. But
yeah.
it just happens that the values also they go with the best practical things in the end. They match
Yeah.
the best thing from the ethical point of view. It's normally the best thing from the practical point of view.
Yeah, and actually, that's a very good point because it may be actually, now I don't know, but I suppose because like as a software developer contributing to free software, libre software, you don't have any other incentive than to have something that is good. Like you won't have the incentive of, oh, your boss is checking on you and therefore you are just doing this, but you don't really care about it. Like you do it because you have a passion for it fundamentally. And so
Hmm.
I think at scale, when this happens, basically you have something that is really good.
Yeah, because you can compare something that you do just because you have to do it in your work with something that you are passionate about. Is of course is the best if the later. If you are passionate about something, you will produce something that is of much better quality.
Yes, yes, indeed, indeed. Um, Plus, of course, because I at least I have seen this with a lot of folks. Um, because of course it's free software, it's the source is open, right? It's readily available. You also want to do a good job because people will be checking.
Yeah, of course. In when you are working, you examine the source code or something, and you see hell. You see you see some things that you should not have seen ever.
But because it's closed source, nobody cares.
That's right. So they just say, well, I just go to another job, and the next person who comes, they just have to deal with it.
Yes, 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 it's exactly that. Another thing which I have seen with free software in general, which I think is again to the point of the values, is that generally speaking, it will have documentation. Like it will try to explain, like, oh, here's how you set it up, here's how you use it, here are some extra examples of what you can do with it. And
Mhm.
here is a community that is also passionate about it. And for me, I find that it's not specific to freedom of software, but without it, I think you don't have freedom. Because
Yeah,
let me put it differently. Like when I didn't know how to code at all, because of course my background is not in any of these fields like engineering, technology, none of these, right? So before I learned how to code, like if you were to give me some free software and you're like, hey, here it is, you are free to use it, and you didn't give me any documentation, I would be like, well, for me this is useless. I I don't
yeah,
understand
yeah.
anything.
That's the thing about the software. A software without documentation is it doesn't it's not it's worthless. you can use it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the software well documented.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This for engineers in special, this can be tough because we want to do things, but documenting them is boring sometimes. But it's very important. It should be mandatory because without documentation, any work that you do, maybe you know how to do it now, but maybe in a year, even yourself don't know how to use it. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, on this final point, that's how I realized that comments in the source code are important. And eventually doc strings, like in Emacs Lisp, we have doc strings. Whereas before I would just write the code, and then I would think of the solution and I would write it. But then I realized that actually writing documentation, like a comment or a doc string, is also a statement of intent. Like I say that this is what the function should do. This is what I want it to do. So if it doesn't do that, I know what my original intent was, and then I can fix the bug or whatever to go back to it. And of course, understand what I was thinking, as you were saying.
yeah, I think documentation is should be more should should be should be more in consideration when you are programming something.
Hmm.
You have to give more importance to documentation.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And as I was saying, I think generally in the free software space, this is happening. And I would like to see it happen even more, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because well, in general, the documentation is vital. But also, when you pay for a software and the software is closed, and you don't have documentation, it's like
Ah,
you
yeah.
feel you feel scammed. Is
Yeah, of course.
you have to fight to know what the program does.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. Yeah, in that context, yes, for sure. Let me ask you something completely unrelated. So, of course, we talk about general issues. The whole point of these videos is to have like a friendly chat. So, when we were starting the video, I noticed behind you have some posters of games.
Fine.
Uh,
Let me okay. Let me tell you.
I
For
want to ask if you play games.
for some reason, I don't know why, in my room the internet connection is not good enough.
Uh-huh.
I have been years in my room, but I have noticed until today because I don't use to use the connection at fast speed, and I don't usually do video calls.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I have to move to my brother's room.
Uh-huh.
And here he is a fan of games.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
He has
Yes.
Sega
Yes.
and of course Call of Duty.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And also, of course, since we are in Sevilla,
Uh-huh.
everything.
Oh, Real Betis, of course.
And I have also dressed myself for the occasion. But this is not my room,
Uh-huh.
and that's why there are also. Let me
Uh-huh.
show you. On this wall, we have a lot of scarves.
Oh, okay. So we have a proper football fan here.
Yeah.
That's
In the
amazing.
room, there are a lot of books and Rubik's cubes.
I see. I see. I see. So about the Real Betis, I wanted to ask you about the games, but we can talk about football, which of course I am a huge fan of.
I am not as a huge fan as you or my brother, but
Uh-huh.
I am I just watch the football matches because everyone does it,
Hmm.
and well, I enjoy it, but I am not as a fanatic as my brother, for example.
Okay, okay, that's no. I'm not fanatic either. What I wanted to ask is, so in Sevilla there are, at least in the first division, two teams, right? So
Mhm.
Sevilla and Real Betis.
Mhm.
In the city, which of the two teams has more supporters? If you know, like if you walk down the street, do you see random people with?
I
Uh,
will say 50-50.
oh, okay,
I think it's close to 50-50.
okay, okay.
You see people from, well, maybe Real Betis is more like popular because maybe when the people is not from Spain, they sometimes hears more about Betis, I think, but that could be my impression.
Hmm.
But in at the end, I think it's more like 50-50.
Okay, okay, okay. Because I was thinking that maybe there is one team which is the popular team, like traditionally the team
Well,
of the city.
no, I don't think so. I don't know that much, but I don't think so.
Okay, I see, I see. Okay, okay. Like for example, in Greece, um, depending on where you are, there is one team which is like the dominant team, and everybody supports that team. And then maybe there is another small team there that has like the relatives of the football players.
Yeah, well, sadly here,
Exaggerating, but.
the Real Madrid and Barcelona are everywhere,
Mm,
and there are some cities, for example, that they have their teams, but the people in there are from Madrid or Barcelona. But and a minority of people are from the city's team.
okay.
But well, they are, I think they are too big.
Yes, yes, I think it's a bit too much, yeah. Because they dominate the league, like it's a duopoly, and
Yeah, but
maybe
not
sometimes you
also,
have Atletico Madrid as well.
yeah, but not also the league, but the television, and with that the money and everything. So it's like it's not that fair of a competition.
Hmm. Hmm. Uh, which now raises an interesting question. When Spain wins in general, they have a lot of players from Real and Barcelona, right? Um,
Mhm.
how do you, the rest of the country, feel about it? Or you don't matter, it's all Spain.
Well, I think we like to see our the players from our teams, of course, but when Spain is playing, at the end it's just Spain. They are Spanish footballers,
Hmm.
and that's all we care about in the end, I think.
Okay, okay, makes sense. So last year when you won the Euros, did you celebrate? Did you party?
Well, I am not that much of
Not you, the
celebrating
city, I
people.
mean.
Ah, well,
Uh,
but you mean
so,
when?
so last year, Spain won the Euro Championship. And I imagine all of the country was on holiday.
Yeah, I mean, well, yes, of course, but well, here in Sevilla, the crazy things are where when the Betis or Sevilla wins, because
Uh-huh.
that is really mayhem.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
people with the flags of their teams, and that is really that's beautiful, really. When
Hmm.
I mean, when Spain wins, it's also a party, but it's not that much.
Hmm.
It's not,
Hmm.
well, except when I recall that was like I think 10 years ago or so that Spain won for the first time in a very long time. I think it was a Euro. I think maybe it was, and the streets were very crowded. It was incredible. In fact, I was in a car with my friends because, well, we in my circle of friends, I am the footballer, the one that likes football, but the others don't like it. And we didn't even know that Spain has won, and we get in a crowd in the with the car, and the people just start like "Whoa," moving the car. It was it was mayhem. It was crazy.
I can
But that
imagine.
was because I think it was the first time that Spain won in a very long time.
Yeah,
Because in the
yeah.
last year, Spain has improved a lot.
Yes, yes, yes. The last 2 years, Spain is a really strong team, as is your neighbor to the west, the Portuguese, a very strong team.
Yeah.
Um, on this note with the streets, I was in Brussels. I used to live in Brussels, and it was the summer of 2014, so it was a World Cup. And in Brussels, it's a multicultural society. So you have, of course, you have the locals, Belgian people. You have people from an Algerian background. You have people from a Portuguese background, Italian background, Spanish, everybody, okay? So in the World Cup, you have all those nations playing. One day is the Algerians, the next day is the Belgians, and so on. So every day they were winning, and every day it was like poop, 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 all the streets packed. I was like, what is happening? The
That
Greeks
should
were
be
not
really
there.
fun. I think I read on your blog that there was this year that Greek won some, I don't know if euro or.
Not this year. It was in 2004,
Mhm.
and in 2024 it was the 20 years. And I think it's that article I wrote because I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so oh, it's 20 years.
Do you remember that? It was.
Yes, yes. So that was I was 16 at the time. Oh, it was mayhem. That was really like
It
we were
really.
like everywhere, everywhere it was on. Everybody was on the streets, like, and of course, even like grandmas and stuff, like everybody, like they didn't know anything about football, but they were there to celebrate.
Yeah, sometimes it becomes a national thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And the players were treated like heroes, like national heroes, and the commentary. So there was a certain commentator. I think it was on the radio. Basically, that commentary has become legendary. It's a piece of legend. So yeah, people in Greece, if you anyhow mention anything related to that, they know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, the thing is, Southern European countries have been winning the euro in the 21st century. So we are the best.
Yeah,
I like to tease my friends from Northern Europe, or the English in particular. It's like the English are like, hey, the British. Uh, oh, football. We are the land where football was invented. And I'm like, yeah, how many euros have you won now that you reminded me of that?
yeah. I think there. When was the last time that England won a Euro?
Never, I believe, and they
Ah,
have only
never.
won one World Cup in '66 or thereabouts. But it's fun. It's fun to banter, as they say. So, what are your plans now for the immediate future? And we can close with this because we have been talking for about an hour.
Okay,
So,
well,
what will you be
um,
doing?
so I am in this internship in web development
Hmm.
until December when where it ends.
Hmm.
So, well, just this month I have to work in the internship. Next month I have holidays and I don't have to either neither work nor study, which is a rare thing for me, and I will be enjoying a lot. And then in September I will start the new course, the new year.
Hmm.
And I think after that I will stop working because I want to just finish the studies, try to finish them if I can. And after that I will try to have a stable job, normal job, just to go to live with my girlfriend.
Hmm. And do you plan to live somewhere close or further away?
The thing about living here, at least in Spain, but I think it's globally, is that it's very, very expensive.
Hmm.
It's like crazy expensive. Well,
Yeah,
you know it well,
yeah, of
sadly.
course.
So I have nothing about that, but I just want somewhere where I can live and I can pay the rent. Is
Hmm.
all that I want.
Hmm. Hmm. The thing with Spain, from because I remember I was researching when I was needing to move, I was researching, and I learned that in Spain you have, of course, the coast, like to the north and to the south. Lots of people live there, but generally in the center of the country, like Extremadura, not many people live there, from what I understand. Or am I wrong?
No, it's what we call La España vaciada. That is like the empty Spain
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because the the people are leaving because there are no big cities or no cities. There are no shops. There is nothing.
Wow.
And one thing that I would like to do, but it's only a dream, but I will find it very. I would like to do it is go to an empty town, like a very quiet place, and just do my life there, like revive the thing, the town. Um, because the thing about cities and big cities that everything is very stressful, is everything very fast, and when you live in the countryside everything is more relaxed, it's more boring, but it's good to be bored sometimes. And well, I would love to do that, to just go to a lonely place in Spain and just live my life peacefully there.
Yeah, from what I understand, like with the technology that is available now, the tricky part is water. Like if you have water, then solar panels, you can get them off grid. Internet, you have mobile internet. So basically, in terms of the absolute essentials of the modern kind of house, you are
But
there.
I don't think uh, I don't think there is anything missing from the essential in the
So they
in
have
this
all
place that
those as well. Okay, okay.
I'm
We,
sorry, an
we,
intervention from my father.
no worries. We are closing. We are
Um,
closing.
um, yeah, I am not an expert,
Hmm.
but I think there is not anything essential missing on those places. But it's just that they don't have, like, I don't know, medics, or maybe
Hmm.
you have to make a long way to go to school, or things like that.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the tricky part. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. But maybe that will happen eventually. Like as prices go up, people have to move further away from the city centers. So maybe it will happen. We will see.
Yes, I hope we will see it. Will be better for everyone.
Yes, yes. So thank you very much, Carlos. I had a good time, and thank you for talking with me. I will just say, because I didn't say it in the introduction, I will just say now. So, this is a video series that I am doing where anybody can contact me and we will do a video like we did today. So, we will talk about whatever comes about. So, that's it. Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Carlos. Take care. Good luck with everything. And I wish you all the best.
The same. Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. And I will close here and then stop recording, folks. Where is OBS? So bye bye from my side.